Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Benton with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal, some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I said on every episode, we've got a great one for you. In fact, we've got one coming back.
Yes, returning guest. We have singer Hannah Dasher with us today, one of our favorite returning guests, who engages her over 1.5 million TikTok followers with her Stand By Your Pan viral cooking and music series, while her breakout single release, Girls Call the Shots, earned her critical acclaim by Rolling Stone and Billboard.
And we're excited to have her on to talk about that, anything new, and welcome to the show.
Welcome back.
Hey. Hey, get to say, I'm finding rhinestones all in this tiger rug that I just washed. I had a photo shoot here for the new music.
Oh,
and I'm still finding sequins everywhere. Goodness.
Oh, well.
So last time you came on the show was in 2020.
Yes.
When I bring on guests coming back, I always ask what's been going on. So what's been going on?
Lord, 2020, I guess that was the height of quarantine, right? So
it was.
I was working on my TikTok then and working on new music, which we released this past July, the half record. Yeah. And then this year I've been working on the other new music, and in between filming stuff with the barbecue and the Food Network or the Circle Network and or other, I guess, things I can't necessarily talk about, but I will say I'm trying to get TV tiny. Yeah, and while playing a bunch of shows this year and just trying to make my way as an independent act, I've never had any radio exposure or radio play, if you will. I've never met the radio team. So I'm just appreciative of the love and the the support that I get. Regardless, people really, I think, want to hear from me and see me. So yeah, we just got back from Dollywood, the Harvest Festival. That was blast.
Dollywood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hadn't been since I was like 6 or 7 years old, and anyhow, so except for when we played the Winter Series there, and it went really well. So they booked us to do this fall thing, and it was a blast. Outfit changes and everything.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, last time we went to Dollywood was almost 20 years ago.
Yes, we're planning on going again next
for our
year.
anniversary. For our honeymoon
trip.
How many years have y'all been together?
Well, it'll be 20 years married October 5th. In fact, we're going to spend
congratulations. That's coming up.
Yep, we're going to be spending that week in Nashville.
We are.
Well, y'all can look up ahead for when you come. Congratulations. 20 years is that's awesome.
Thank you.
It's been a crazy ride, but we're here.
It has. We've enjoyed it.
So, how did COVID and all that affect what you do? And then thank God it looks like we're on the other side of it now.
Yes.
So how has it been getting through that process, and what have you done to kind of get through it during those times?
Well, COVID was a big setback in a lot of ways. It was a beautiful thing for me in a way too, but it was a big setback. Not a lot of people realize this, but I was and I'm still a brand new act that was getting ready to be fired out of the cannon.
Wow.
And so and you think about like trying to get on dates and tours and things like that, as oversaturated as the market and the industry already is. Unless you've got a big old manager behind you with a lot of political pull, you're not going to get those tours. So COVID, took all the little baby acts like me and bumped us down when we started firing things back up, and it moved the bigger acts up as to be more of a priority, which I understand, but because there's less of the pie to go around, so they have to kind of cater to all those acts first. So it's kind of put us on the back burner. So in the meantime, I thought, well, hell, if I'm not touring and we're shut in the house right now, I can at least work on my platforms and get my social media numbers up. And so I just thought I would showcase my personality to the world with a little Stand By Your Pan, a little country music comedy infused cooking series, because everybody was, not that I want to be a cook the rest of my life, but I come from a long line of really talented, opinionated cooks, southern cooks. And I just figured, why not teach skinny people how to cook, since they're all in the grocery store spending $1,000 a month because we're all shut in the house. And and I thought that since we were so divided as a country, that we could all agree on fried chicken and macaroni cheese.
Yes, absolutely.
and it looks like it worked.
Yeah. So it's Chris, it's great. I can't go into a grocery store or an airport or to Dollywood, anywhere, without getting stopped for photos, with people. I just think it's awesome, and it's humbling to realize the impact that you can have on people. And that was the beautiful part of COVID to me, was realizing that, I wasn't in this career for me and for my glory, but I'm literally here to further God's kingdom and to reach people. And if he sees fit to use a TikTok app to do it and not country radio right now, that's what he's going to do. And so that's been the most sobering, humbling thing of it all. But you know what? Outreach is outreach, and they're buying merchandise and they're showing up shows. So that's what matters to me.
And I think that's where people go wrong sometimes. They have it in their mind, it's going to look like this, we're going to go this way, and they leave no room to pivot. And looks like you found a way to pivot that catapulted you in a time where it was tough for a lot of people. And now, as music's coming back, you built that foundation for the future.
I appreciate that. Yes. Well, I just figure if I can't get through your ears on the radio, I can at least get in your faces on the TV. So I've been working out with Wilson, and I'm still writing new music. And we actually just recorded 6 of 12 songs. I'm very excited about them. I'm working with a new producer who I've respected for years. And he and I will get together this Thursday to start putting some finishing touches on some things. And I'm just so tickled to get this music out to the world. And I'm still an independent act. I've never had a manager. I've always wanted one, but I've always been told, well, wait till you have something to manage. So in the meantime, I'm the Martha White girl and the provider girl for the Foul Life, and I'm doing a lot of cooking and singing, and it's paying my bills. And I'm very, very grateful to have a platform, and that I'm not selling bass boats for Bass Pro Shops anymore. So.
Love that. A lot of people, they would ask, when did you know you wanted to do music? But I always like to go deeper than that. When did it click for you that, wow, this could be my career?
I have never had another option in my mind, with the exception of maybe Mary Rich. Like Mary Rich Farmer, trying to get a voice. But I've just always, Mother said that I could sing before I could talk. We'd ride down the dirt road as a kid, and she could, with the radio on, and she would hear me humming and singing along with the radio before I could even make a sentence. And so I've just always known that country music is what I wanted to do, always. Since my first concert, that was Alan Jackson, and in Savannah at Savannah Civic Center. The old one, I guess there's a new one now. I was really hoping to be there too with the Reba shows. Anyhow, but she's taking Terry Clark out with her. I think they're trying to break Terry Clark again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
but I'm gonna be in Springfield, not far from y'all, on the same night.
Wow. Oh,
the
wow.
Reba's in town. So if you can't afford Reba tickets, that's all right. I love it.
Just come on out.
Yeah.
Come on to Springfield and come see me and the band. You won't be disappointed.
Love that. So, a lot of people, they see the glory in what you do, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles it takes to get to any level within entertainment. And I always want to talk about that side of it, because I think a lot of times people kind of gloss over this. They make it look so glamorous, but we both know that is just not the case. You get the glamour on stage, but after that, that's where the work happens. So tell us a little bit about some of the sacrifices and struggles you've had to go through to get to where you are today.
Man, you are so that's so profound, and you're so I don't know, that's a great question. I don't get asked that question often, because people just it's such an industry of what's next. But when I open my refrigerator now, and I have no freezer space, I have food I have more food than I have ever wanted or needed. I can go to the grocery store now and pick out, or I have an assistant that can go to the store and pick out whatever I want. And I'm always reminded of not having enough to eat when I've been up here, and being hungry, and counting pennies and quarters and putting change together to try to go to the Taco Bell to get something. You wouldn't know that I was hungry to look at me, but but every time I open up my refrigerator and I've got to make space for it, I'm tickled to death to do it. That's just one of those things, because I know what it's like to be hungry up here. When I moved here, I slept on a mattress on the floor. And I didn't have a kitchen, and I ate bologna sandwiches and peanut butter jelly sandwiches every day. I ate 2 sandwiches a day. And then if someone will buy me lunch, I do that. But not just from the food aspect, but hell, just having extra spending money to buy the clothes that I've wanted. Like, I've always wanted to to have the wardrobe that I do now, but I couldn't afford it when I moved to town. So when I moved here in 2010, 2011, I made just personalized little T-shirts because I wanted to stand out in some way. So I make T-shirts that said, like with Conway Twitty on them, "Hello, darling, I just love to lay you down," or one with both Cephas on the front, just so that people would approach me in the bar, so the right people would approach me, and they did. But now I can dress like I want to, and I have a team of a stylist team, if you will, hair and makeup, and I'm just so blessed to have access to people who are great at what they do, that have helped me build the brand that I've always wanted to build, if you will, or who are helping me build the brand that I've always wanted to build. But yes, a lot of people just don't see the sacrifice that goes in. Like, there are friends that I've graduated with who have babies that I've never held, who are probably 7 or 8 years old now, or people that have gotten married. Like, I was asked to be a bridesmaid in like 11 weddings one year, and I couldn't afford to be in all of them. And it was heartbreaking to have to tell some of my best girlfriends no, that I couldn't be in their wedding because I couldn't afford to come down. I couldn't afford the bridesmaid's dress, and that was hard. And I missed some Thanksgivings because I couldn't travel home, if you will. My family could afford to help me, and but they're big advocates for tough love, and I resented it a lot at the time. But looking back, I am so grateful that my parents didn't just shower me with the money that I needed. I say I'm grateful because it's made me a survivor. It would have helped me a little bit more, and I feel like I'd probably be a little farther along, but I wouldn't have the survival skills that I do now. And so, and as a creator, I think that helps you too, because you got to be thrown into a situation, just like with songwriting. It's just, okay, what can I make out of this? Like, what ingredients do I have? What's here in the room? What can I do to make something awesome out of what I have? And as a creator, that's what we do daily. As a cook, that's what cooks do. And hell, when I when I go into my closet, that's what I do.
Love it.
And we totally get where you're coming from, because there were times where Sandy would come to me and says, our bank account's in the hole right now, right?
More than once. Yeah.
But God, I'm telling you, like, not to cram my faith down anybody's throat, because you believe what you want to believe. I know that we are like-minded in our faith. But all that to say, my needs have always been met. There has been a friend will call and say, "Hey, I know you've been needing this," and they'll deposit just the exact amount of money that I needed in my account without me asking, or things like that through the years that have happened. And I can't overlook things like that. And it's just made me, like, for so long I've had the what's next mindset. I never celebrated my record deal. I did celebrate one of my publishing deals, but like when I got my first major cut, I didn't go out and celebrate that. And I really regret not living in the moment more and really soaking in all those victories. And so since quarantine, I have really made a point to celebrate the small things, and because it just makes you a lot more grateful for all the big things that come. And
it's something.
Yes, now I've got TV opportunities pouring into me, so now I'm trying to get TV tiny, and I've been working out with old Wilson. Mr. Wilson, he is awesome. Lord, I just had a chicken liver. Don't tell him I had a chicken liver. Anyway, but I'm grateful to be working with him and with Casey Lynn, his nutritionist, and just looking hot or naked, just finding just a more confident version of myself, and I'm hoping that it's inspired other women to embrace their curves and to take some action to be a little healthier too.
You're talking about God at the right moment. I can tell you a point. This was crazy timing for us, and we know it was God doing. But we went to Kentucky to visit her mom at this time, before her mom passed away, and we were up there, and we kind of got stranded up there. Her mom didn't have much money, and we ran out of money, so we didn't have enough gas money to get back to Savannah.
We did.
And we're like, what do we do? So we end up staying about an extra couple of days trying to figure out what do we do. And next thing I know, a person emails me. We were selling a service where we made $500 off of, but nobody was buying it this time. And And a guy emails me and says, I'd like to do that. I was like, great, here's PayPal, send it. Well, guess what? Next day we got back to Savannah.
Got to go home.
I love that. Wonderful. That's great. Want to do it. Well, I think that it always comes through, and that's kind of where I am with a lot of things. It's like what we do for a living as creators. It's like gambling for a living.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
So every time you go into the songwriting room, it's like gambling for a living. You never know if you're going to leave with a great song or not. I mean, it's rare that you'll catch those great songs that'll fall out of heaven that kind of write themselves, or that someone walks in with an amazing idea. But yeah, you celebrate those moments.
And you know what's crazy? Sometimes we've heard stories from artists where they're like, they wrote a song and they really wasn't sure if it was anything or not. And all of a sudden somebody else heard it and they're like, I need to pitch this to so-and-so, and it become a #1 hit. And they were like stunned because they're like, they was like, it was just a song I written. I wasn't feeling it, but apparently the artist was.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm sitting on this ottoman when I wrote a song of mine called Shoes, and I didn't think anything of it. I sent it to my publisher, and he flipped over it, and then sent like the label, and they flipped over it, and it just reminded me to reach out to a friend of mine at CMT. But the music video was a lot of fun to make, considering like I was an independent act, we went from like 0 or 14 listeners a month to 487,000 listeners a month on Spotify. I thought that was great.
Wow.
Put out that music, but again, it was a song that didn't mean much to me that everyone on the team was just really adamant about including, and I still hear about it today from a couple people like, hey, this song means a lot to me. And then there's other songs that speak to them too, and I'm really excited to get this new stuff out to the world. So we got a song called God's a Good Old Boy. I'm real excited about that I wrote last September rather, but it just talks about how he makes fish that bite and scratch off tickets win, and he makes the dog you thought you lost come back home again, and he made the Braves good again this year, and and it's just it's a lot of fun to sing, and when I played it for some of my good old boy buddies, they cried. I just see a big old burly redneck boy cry over a song like so we've got that one that I'm really excited about, and one that I'm really excited about. A couple artists have actually had it on hold, and then as soon as like McBride took it off, I swooped it back up. But I wrote it actually with the same guys, with Benji, with Benji Ottoman and Dave Turnbull, and but it's called Crying All the Way to the Bank.
Oh,
so yeah, it's it's just about a woman that she's married to a fella and finds out that he's cheating, and so a trust fund don't buy trust is what it says. But anyhow, but it said you should have seen the face of the judge when he threw the gavel down. Now I'm crying all the way to the bank. Brand new Chevy, premium gas in the tank. It's good. It's good.
Wow. That's awesome.
It's a revenge song.
Oh, it is. Not that I condone that kind of behavior. I'm a prenup kind of girl, and I think ill of women who are that way, kind of thing in the past. But all that to say, but it's so much fun. It's so much fun to play live. They love it. They holler and scream over it, and I just think it'll make a really fun video. Yeah. Anyhow, and I don't want to get all the songs away, but those are two that I'm really excited about. And I have leaked an acoustic version of it, like on my socials. But it's a song called "Ugly Houses," where I share a little bit about my faith. But yeah, if you buy "Ugly Houses," I'm taking down my for sale sign. It's a great song. So
love that. Now, as you know, a lot of people, they see you, but they don't never see any teams behind the artist. In our opinion, teams never get any love. And I don't care if you have a team of 1 or a team of 300 like Justin Bieber has. A team is still a team. So take a few moments and tell us about the people behind you.
Here, darling. Well, like I said, it takes a village. Starting from my hair, Andrew Pentecost has been great. He's so good. When we did those Reba shows earlier this year, she started going to him and his husband Kyle, and now she gets her hair and her wigs done by them too, which is great. But I'm so tickled that Andrew's just done so much to help me with my situation, and I love him to pieces. And I'm still writing songs for Sony ATV, Sony Music Publishing. My publisher Dane, I love him so much. He is working independently now, but I've got a new publisher, Miss Aubrey, and Aubrey, she's great. She loves country music, and she really gets it, and she loves the country music that we grew up listening to, and she just thinks that I have a lot to offer the world, and so together we're just trying to get this new music recorded and help me shop for a manager, because we believe it's time. But I've last year I had my dear friend Brooke helping me. She was kind of a liaison between me and the label, and it was great to have another girl there to bounce opinions and ideas off of, and just to help kind of carry the load. I've had a fan that became a friend, like a super fan that became a friend that's been helping me a lot the past 2 years, and she filters through emails and has helped a lot with selling, or she's helped a lot, I guess, with merch. She's not it's not her calling to be in the music business, if you will, but she's just tickled to be able to help and do all that. So, but my business manager is my ride or die. I love him to pieces. Zach over at Gelfin, he is amazing, and we met over duck wings at Fifth and Taylor at the bar 4 or 5 years ago. Anyhow, and he was there this weekend at Dollywood playing tour manager, and he's done tour manager stuff kind of for me before. And so, my team is small, and my stylist, Jennifer, I love her to pieces. But my team is really small, but I'm really, really grateful to have them. And I'm just, now that I've got the music kind of coming together, I'm looking to build that team.
Love that. And, speaking of teams, we have a third co-host, our
little
10-year-old boy.
You do.
Yep. So Sandy's gonna go get him.
Yes, I will get him.
Ask. He I think when you came on before, he always asked one question, but now he asks 3 questions.
We bumped him up.
We bumped him up. He got older, so we added more.
Who is this 10-year-old to you?
He's our son.
Oh my goodness! And what's his name?
Christopher.
Oh, Christopher. I'm gonna check on some beef stock I've got churning. Y'all can see I got some swinging doors we're going to put up here in the kitchen. There's some popping out of I bet y'all, can y'all see that?
Oh.
Yum, yum. Christopher is 10. Is he in school?
We homeschool him.
I gotcha.
So when everything got shut down and everybody had to go through that, he didn't have, his life didn't have to change.
Is he active in a youth group though there at
we go to church a couple times a week and all that. He also has friends that he hangs out with on the weekends, and so he's very active.
Love that.
Because we know that when you homeschool, then you got to be more active than you normally would to keep them in community.
Totally.
That's where a lot of parents go wrong, is they think you homeschool, but then you just live this life where you do nothing, and then that's where the issues come, I think.
No, I think you're right. My dear friend Chance and Chelsea up in Utah, they homeschool their boys, but my Lord, they were at an Indian wigwam seance dance in Montana last time I was talking to them, watching tribal dances, and they're always traveling and they're showing animals, and she's trying to expose them to history and to faith. And which side of the camera do I look at? Am I making eye contact with y'all now?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we've been, last year we visited Nashville 4 different times. This year it'll be 4 times after this next trip. So we just went to Myrtle Beach recently, thinking about maybe going to Miami at the end of the year to spend New Year's Eve there. So we do a lot of traveling too. So he gets to do a lot of stuff.
See, I love it.
So it kind of helps out homeschooling too, so that we can have the flexibility to where we can still do work and enjoy life too.
I love that. What kind of consulting business are y'all in?
Well, right now we just do our show mainly.
Got you.
And we deliver food in the evenings in order to stay afloat while we
I
build
love that.
this.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
Christopher.
Yes, all right. Hi, Hannah. So, what's for your food?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Is it going good?
Yeah. He said you had some questions to ask me, so I'm tickled. I'm tickled for your interview.
All right. What's for your food?
My favorite foods, well, fried chicken always. Chocolate covered strawberries is number 2, and number 3 would have to be. Oh gosh, it really just depends on. Did I say fried chicken? I did. I don't know. I love anything with a bone in it that I can gnaw. So bone in ribeye or prime rib or you know what? Probably the salad bar at Sperry's here in Nashville. It's just great. Thank you for asking. What about you?
Mine is pizza.
You like old pizza, eh?
And we had it last night, matter of fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Ask me something else.
All right. What's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? I don't really watch a lot of TV because I'm so busy all the time. But obviously, I love Yellowstone on Netflix. And I liked Longmire when it was out. But in 1883, I like good old shoot 'em up, bang, bang westerns, stuff like that. So old Clint Eastwood and John Wayne kind of movies. I like westerns and things like that. Any kind of action. But yeah.
And yours?
All right. Mine is SpongeBob.
Oh, really? All right.
All right. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? I think you know that one is Smokey and the Bandit.
Everybody
thinks I love Dolly Parton, which I think Dolly's great. But I mean, I've been a Burt Reynolds fan a whole lot longer because I was watching. There was a rerun for Best Little Warehouse in Texas that came on, and then out popped her, and she was the girlfriend of Burt Reynolds in the movie, and she had all these darling Western pearl snaps with the big collars, like I've always loved, with fringe, and they were all darted and she just looked so cute and sexy, and she was chunky. That's a chunky version, and I just thought, well, hell, when I can afford to dress that way, that's how I want to dress, and so that's my connection there to her is actually through Burt Reynolds. So, but there's a Trans Am necklace right here on my neck. My dear fan, Miss Presley, sent me that. But and now you can see my logo is a 1977 Smokey and the Bandit edition Trans Am. Where's my little guitar pick? You see my logo?
Yeah, I saw it.
But oh yeah, here we are. You can see it. You can see it.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Well, that's a 77 Trans Am. So yeah.
Yeah, because what's yours?
Mine is the Minions.
Oh, the Minions. All right, I hear you. Have they exposed you to any? Chris and y'all exposed this boy to some Smokey and the Bandit and some Top Gun. I guess when he's of age. You're what? 8?
There.
You're 10? How old are you again
He's
now?
10.
All right.
I'm about to be 11 very soon.
You are? Well, all right.
In January.
It's definitely time to watch Smokey and the Bandit.
Yep. He would love it.
Yeah.
And Top Gun. Heck yeah. I'm so tickled that y'all thought of me and you thought to share your afternoon with me.
Bye. Thanks.
Hey, good to see you, darling.
Yes.
Yeah, he definitely loves to be on the show, and he's been on probably 95% of the shows.
Really? That's
Yep.
great. That's great. Do you ever let him listen to the music of the artists that he's interviewing so he can ask questions about their music too?
We keep him with them same 3 so he stays focused.
I got you.
He is a big country music
But he is a
fan.
big country music fan.
Oh, really?
In fact, when he was before he was born, and Sandy was pregnant with him, she played country music all the time, put it to her tummy. She was like, "My boy's going to love country
Get it,
music."
girl.
And here's the funny part.
And he would like kick when it would be country songs and stuff. That's what he would be.
And the
really
funny
active
part is now, if she says a statement that's not right with that, maybe she's got the artist wrong on a song, he will correct her like that. Nope, that's that
in.
artist.
Oh yes, he knows his
love it.
music.
Hey, that's great. That's great. I love that.
What are some things that inspire you?
Oh, great music inspires me, which I feel like it's not to sound jaded or negative, but it's hard to find. It's out there, but it's just hard to find. I just feel like we've gotten really lazy and used to the top 40, or we just kind of go with wherever the hype or the spin is. But I think when you really dig deep is where you find the great stuff. And so my songwriting heroes like Casey Beathard or Jeremy Spillman or guys like that. Well, they're always good about introducing me to new stuff. My buddy Oscar Charles, a great producer here in town, is good at sharing stuff with me. And a buddy of mine, Landon, he's the lead singer for a rock and roll band called Goodbye June. I'm a huge fan of them. They're very talented. You should check them out. They're incredible live. But he's good at exposing me to good new stuff. And so I'm inspired by great lyrics, great melodies, and it may be something that I've heard for years. Like I've been on a kick lately, Fuel, Hemorrhage by Fuel.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
back in my middle school heydays or whatever that song came out.
Yeah.
But golly, where that song just takes you to far away, leave
Love
me
that
to
one.
myself. Da-da. Anyways, but just the melody is just, whew. But I'm inspired by, well, obviously, like, you know, my faith. When the Spirit moves, and we break a sweat at Mount Zion on Sundays in worship. Not every Sunday, but we will break a sweat in worship when the Spirit's moving, and that's inspiring. When I am in meet and greet, and I'm just meeting all these amazing people that are coming through my line after a show or before a show to meet me, and when I learn how far they've driven to be there, or there's like an older couple and they tell me how long they've been married, and that kind of stuff inspires me too. I'm always wanting to know how to make love work that long, and so I'm inspired by talent. If anybody's talented, that inspires me. I think like Brent Cobb is just one of the most underrated artists that we have out there, and Charlie Worsham is an acquired taste, very talented, and I think Tyler Childers is obviously really, really great, and and Caitlin Smith is an amazing songwriter, and we just actually played a festival together.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah. But yeah, I get inspired by greatness. And
love that.
What would you like for your legacy to be in music? What would you like to be most known and remembered for?
oh, like yeah. Well, I've always had this obligation, or just this inner, I don't know what it is, Sandy, but I've always gotten along well with old people, and I've always just felt this need to hang on to the good stuff, whether it's pedal steel guitar or writing thank you notes, handwritten, writing in cursive thank you notes, or saying yes sir and yes ma'am, or just there are certain traditions. Well, I'm very much a hippie, but there's just a lot of traditions and just a lot of things. The whole, when stuff says made in USA, you can look at my house and my wardrobe and tell that I like to hang on to certain things. But it's not necessarily just hanging on to it. I want to keep it alive, and I want to be the artist that bridges the gap between that 90s country or the nostalgic Nashville that we love, or that honky tonk Nashville we fell in love with, that bridges the gap between that and the future, because there is something very futuristic about what I do that you can't put your finger on, but it works. And so I that's how I like to be remembered, as someone that helped keep country music alive, and also who helped keep it fresh.
Love that.
Love that. If you could say anything to your fans and followers, what would you want to tell them?
Hey, I love you, and I ain't going anywhere.
Oh, awesome.
And you should say that to the haters too, right?
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
if you don't have any haters, you're not doing it right. But we won't give them any light of day. But oh yeah, there's a lot of that around here. But you know what? If you weren't good, they wouldn't be hating on you.
Love that.
Okay.
So, who would, if you could co-write with any artist, who would it be?
Oh, it depends on the idea that I would have up my sleeve. But if I could co-write with any artist, Alan Jackson.
Oh, that's a great one.
I have written with Bill Anderson. He's great. Used to be Jamie Johnson, but I'm scared of him. I have so much respect for him. I'm just Eric Church, obviously, is one of my biggest songwriting influences. His team, but I get to write with Michael Heaney and Spillman and Beathard and those guys, and so I'm just tickled to and Jeff Hyde. I've just written a great one with him, and I've got a great one that I've written actually with Jeff Hyde, who writes with Eric all the time and plays in his band on the road. That will be on this new package of music that I've just recorded. So, and it's a good one. But yeah, I think Alan Jackson.
Right. So who's an artist that's passed on that if you could bring them back for one day, you'd bring back, and what would be one question that you'd want to ask them?
Oh, Lord, I want to bring Tom Petty back.
Oh, love Tom
But
Petty.
But what would I ask him? Hell, I can only have him for one day. I want to know what his secret was to keeping it fresh. I want to know, because you talk about an act that really reinvented himself to stay relevant, and you are who you are. He is who he is, but he morphed in his sound in such a way that this didn't sound like anybody else, but it was always fresh. You could just compare like his first record to his fifth record. I mean, it's just I don't know. I could go on about him. I'm forever grateful to the Cadillac Three Boys for encouraging me to go down that rabbit hole.
Wow.
5-6 years ago, and I'm so glad 7 years ago. I'm glad that I did. But yeah, or Patsy Cline though too. God, I'd love to bring her back. She got everybody else like Waylon, and I really couldn't pick who I want to bring back. But that's why I'm looking forward to heaven, because we're all gonna be in the smoking section together. But Lord, I'd like to ask Patsy where she hid. Well, I know where she hid some of her cash, but I'd like to.
Might some still be out there somewhere. Huh?
I'd like to know her secret to hitting all those notes and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's a song that you've heard that you wish you wrote?
Oh, I'm Over You by Keith Whitley.
Oh,
and are you talking about any song or like
any song?
I mean, absolutely. I'm Over You. And hell, Beer Never Broke My Heart. What a heck of a... I don't know exactly what Randy and those guys are saying in the last, just before they brought the hook, but the hook's so dang good, you don't really care what it's saying.
Yeah.
but I'm Over You. Tim, oh my gosh, my brain is leaving me. But Tim Nichols, Songwriting Hall of Fame, wrote what have I written with him? Lead This Bar on my half record I wrote with Tim Nichols. He wrote I'm Over You and has written so many more classics. He's in the Hall of Fame, as he should be. But he's great.
So where would you like to be in 5 years?
That's a great question. I would, I answered this, I feel like, to someone 5 years ago, but I would like to obviously have a much bigger listening audience, bigger following. I'd like to see some TV success. I'd like to be on a major tour. I would, if not headlining it. But I absolutely would. I've played some venues that are bucket list things for me, but I'd like to knock a few more of those off my bucket list. So, but that's where I'd like to be is touring steadily on the road and being able to employ my very, very talented band. It's so hard to employ a team of people consistently when you don't have consistent shows. It's hard for young independent acts to get onto those big shows, but that's what I want to be doing.
So let's look further down the road, and let's say 15 years down the road, and you're a success on a grand scale. Whatever that looks like for you, you've made it. What do you hope you never forget along that journey?
Oh, heavens. I hope I never forget the now. And, like I've traveled on a bus, and I've traveled on in 15 passenger vans. And I hope I don't forget the intimacy of playing small rooms. And luckily I have a good mama and good friends, people around me that that'll call me out if my head gets too big. And God's got a way. I mean, he'll pull the rug out from underneath you to get your attention too. So but yes, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, hell, I'd love to be headlining my own shows and playing stadiums, if you will. But hell, Merle Haggard never had a number one song, and he never headlined stadiums. Never headlined. You know that Merle Haggard never headlined arenas, headlined arenas, and never had a number one song, and he's Merle Haggard.
Wow, that's amazing.
Who knew? And look at the legacy that he left us.
Yeah, huge.
Which shows you can still leave a legacy without being the top.
That's the truth. Oh, my duck breast just arrived in the mail from the Foul Life and Chad and all those boys.
Awesome.
I love it. I see the UPS guy walking up. Is it just me, or do all the UPS guys have good looking legs? They all do.
Funny.
So
They
as
all
we,
do. But yes, I'd like to have a career making music, and I'd like to be a member of the Grand Ole Opry. I realize that's not a goal for any of these new acts, you know, in my realm. But for me, it's the Opry's always meant something, and it always will mean something. And that's one of those things I'd like to keep around. And today, I just realized today's my 3-year Opry debut anniversary. I'm looking at my little sign over there.
oh wow.
Yeah, with my little anyhow. But yeah, I'd love to be a member of the Opry. That's just something that. There it is. See it?
Oh, that's so awesome. I see it with the date. Yep, September 27th,
It's
2019.
It's a special thing.
Yes. But anyhow, I'm just a tickle that y'all made time for me, and just y'all be on the lookout for the new music. I don't have any release dates with it yet, because there's a lot of people that want to hear it first before we decide kind of how to get it out there.
So I've got one last question for you, and then we'll
takes a lot of money. Yes.
And
Yes.
what advice would you give that person that wants to do what you do? And then we'll close out.
Don't do it. No. Great question. If you're wanting to get into the music business and to be a country music entertainer, surround yourself with people that are honest with you, and with people that are more talented than you, and just be very self-aware. That's my advice, is to be very self-aware. If you've got it, do it. But this market is too oversaturated to have average or below average. You know, we've got, as you know, if you aren't 3/4 as good as Eric Church, if you aren't half as good as Alan Jackson, you know, don't do it. Don't do it. Find your gifts and find where your strength is, and pursue that, and just be self-aware. That's my advice.
Mhm.
Is that harsh? It's honest.
It's honest.
And that's what people need
Absolutely,
sometimes.
yeah.
Well,
People need to hear that.
think about it. Like, you know, Trisha Yearwood, when she sings, I mean, it sends chills up and down your spine. She doesn't sound like anybody else, and it's got this huge presence. And Aretha Franklin does the same dang thing to you, and they're two totally different animals. But holy cow, you know. And Trisha doesn't write music, but she doesn't have to, because she has that thing, you know. And I just think the market can be so flooded by, you know, the next viral video cover song that somebody sang, and I think cover songs are great, but we wouldn't have Here in the Real World and Chattahoochee, and you know what I mean, if we celebrated that kind of stuff. And so I feel like there's a lot of real raw talent out there, and I just think that's what we should celebrate more.
Mm-hmm.
So tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me Instagram at Hannah Dasher, HANNAHDASHER. You can find me on the TikTok at Hannah Damn Dasher, and check for upcoming dates and whatnot at hannah-dasher.com.
You know, we really enjoyed having you for a second time, and we look forward to having you back down the road.
Hey, Chris and Sandy, y'all rock my socks off. Thank you. And tell Christopher it was lovely to meet him. And y'all expose that boy to Smokey and the Bandit, and to the good, the bad, the ugly, and to some good old Clint Eastwood movies. All right.
Yes, sounds great.
I got to go make a chili video. My boy from the office, Kevin from the office, the guy that spilled the chili, I can't think of his name. Anyhow, he just put out a big old cookbook, a chili cookbook, and I'm in the cookbook, so I've got to do a little video here. And
love that. Love chili. Sounds good.
Y'all.
All right, you have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.